Good night, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. You're now tuning in to my podcast, SF Johnny, Seriously Focused Johnny. You are now tuned into Difficult People Chronicles. Today's episode is called The Message Takers. So, I would say no, last week, the week before last. Yeah, last week. I ran into one of my mother's friends and we were conversing about life. And she said, some people are takers. Days after that, I was driving, heading home, and what came to me is this: someone is trying hard to be in someone's company. They try everything in their power, whether it be that these two people are on bad terms or they just don't speak or distance happen between the two. They are trying hard to be in that person's company. They trying hard to figure that person out. They can't get what they want from them. Whoever this person is tried everything under the sun and nothing is working. So they are sitting back trying to figure out how to get back in this person's company. And it's not for a good reason. The good thing is they can't. Because if this is you, whoever this is for, if this is you, you closed the door to them a long time ago, number one. If it's a friend, you cut that friendship off and walked away. If it's a family member, you just said, I'm done. Now, days later, I was sleeping, and right before I woke up, the word came and it said taker. Now, this is what I feel. I feel like this person has been getting their way with other people, meaning taking. But you are their focus. They cannot figure you out. Um, and this is just what came to me. They will use other people to try to get to you so they could get what they want. Here's a tip: work on your spirituality. I always tell people that work on your spirituality so you know who is who. Because a person hiding can't hide too long. And when you go to God in prayer about a person, He will show you right then and there who that person is. Don't be like a lot of people, including myself in the past, where, like I would say, you see the warning signs, but you just feel like, oh, I need another sign to know who's who. Call it what it is the first time. So here's something: a taker prioritizes their own needs. Remember that. They often seek to gain a benefit from whatever relationships, situations, some kind of value without giving anything in return. These people or type of person is self-ish, self-absorbed. It's all about them. For instance, they constantly place their own needs and interests first, and they don't care nothing about your feelings. And I'm going to say this: for me, when I see a person that I say no to and they don't care about my feelings or what I have going on, that's a red flag for me. Takers are often characterized by their favors that they need and their actions. So they may ask for something on a constant basis, and when you need something, forget about it. They are not thinking about you, even if it's minor. So you can be a person, God forbid, that when they need help paying for rent or something, and they always asking you for $500 or $200 here to add on to the money that they have, you always give it up. But you ask them for $1, and they could have their whole paycheck in their pocketbook or their wallet, and they will turn around and say, I got 50 cents. You just got to come up with the other 50 cents for the dollar. They fail to acknowledge how their actions affect other people, and they they are the type of people that only show up when they need or want something, and they only call when they want something. Their behavior leads to destroyed relationships, one-sided relationships, lack of trust. And then a lot of times you often say things I used to say. What do they want now? And the reason why I say what I used to say is because I position myself that they know better. Yeah. Once you close the door, once you stop, once you acknowledge who they are, once you call them out on the things that they do, those words, what do he or she really want now, become those words of the past, because then they know they can't come to you the way they used to. They will show up on your last dollar and leave you penniless. And they don't even care if you want to eat. It's almost like, and if they, okay, not even almost like, and if they have a monitoring spirit, they can sense when you get paid. Here are a few things to think about. Like I said, a taker will show up to see what they can take. A taker will often have hater characteristics. They hate to see you win, they hate to see you get. hmm And it shows up more and more. It's more prevalent when you say no. If the taker is jealous of you, know that jealousy can turn to envy real quick. And envy is the killer that destroys marriages, life, spirit, relationships, your peace, etc. When a person is jealous or envious, or their jealousy turns to envy, they often act like you owe it to them. So they may hound you and harass you spiritually, stalk you. The actions that they display in front of your eyes is that when you give them things, they'll snatch it. Like if you give them, let's say, a book, they will snatch it. Or they use that same opportunity when you're about to give them something to reject it and turn around, manipulate the situation, and ask for something high valued. Sometimes we often dismiss certain signs, especially if we view them as family or a good friend. And we say things like, that's just the way he or she is. So, in other words, their bad behaviors is dismissed because of the excuse that is just the way he or she is. Don't do that. These people tend to take more from relationships and situations than they give. Here's some other things. Know that takers are one sided. It's all about them. It's all about me, what I could do, what I need, where I need to go, how much money I need in my pocket. That's how they think. Or they'll say something like, they'll say in a roundabout way, their situation is more important than yours. There's no reciprocation. Remember that. They don't offer anything unless they know they're going to benefit from it. And if they offer, it's going to be something small. Example, they need, say, $100, and you say, I could give you the $100, but you got to drive me to work. The day of, they'll take that $100 and say, but I could drive you to the bus stop because I got something important to do and this and this and that. And they'll come up with this excuse. You'll go around in circles, and before you know it, you're on the bus and they have your $100. They have a self centered behavior. It's all about their interests. Whatever decisions they make, it's all about them. They don't care about how it affects others around them. They are not dependable. They only show up when they need something. So if you need something, trust me, if they do show up on time, they're going to need something when you need something. They will spiritually drain you. And you can be spiritually drained, that is, spiritually weak, that you give them what they want, and then be beating yourself up about it later. Saying to yourself, why did I do that? You will be feeling exhausted, and it's like your peace done went out the door. And that's because they constantly asking for something. They have no remorse for your boundaries. So when you say no, I can't, they will push you to the limit to say yes. They don't care if you get sick behind it, a headache or health, or you in debt. They are manipulators. So here's 3 words with manipulators. They will make you feel guilty. They put pressure on you, and they will make you feel like you're obligated. 3 things: guilty, pressure, obligation. So if you know that you're in the company of a taker and you say no, they're going to come up with some story. They're going to try to make you feel guilty. You say no again, they're going to try to put pressure on you by constantly asking you, harassing you, annoying you. And they might even come up with a story where you feel obligated. Identify the takers. It can better help you manage your peace, your time, and your energy. One of the things I want to say, well, a few of the things I want to say, is that in the Bible, believe it or not, Cain was a taker. In Genesis chapter 4, Cain and Abel were the sons of Adam and Eve. And Cain was the oldest. Cain was a farmer, Abel was the shepherd. And Cain became jealous of Abel because God favored Abel. What happened was, because Abel was more favored, over Cain because of their offerings. Cain became jealous. And this is the part where jealousy turns to envy, and Cain murdered Abel. So I want y'all to think about things like this, that when it comes to takers, it's not always about money. It's not always about, I would say, material things. Sometimes it's about your shine. So if a person knows that they could get you to do something that will make them look better in the eyes of other people, and you go to them and ask them for something and they just don't want to do it because they don't want you to outshine them, and then all of a sudden you start pulling back, that jealousy is going to turn to envy, and they're going to try everything in their power to destroy your character, to destroy your shine. Yes, think about it along those lines. Proverbs 11:24, 2:25. One person gives freely yet gains even more. Another withholds what he should give and only suffers want. From my own experience, I would say this. You will know a taker by their nature, because one of the characteristic that they have is they're unappreciative. And when it comes to me identifying a taker, here are some things I look at personally when it comes to a taker: disrupting my peace, manipulation, lies, and actions. How they act when they want something. But for the most part, now at this stage of the game, I never make rush decisions. I always go to God and ask God about a situation. Because no matter how much or how hard or how creative a taker is, like I always say, God will always expose them. And that's the beauty of how God operates. He protects his children. So that's it for today. For more, sign up for a session. Check me out on YouTube, like, subscribe, click the notification, check out my store for suggested topics, email me, sfj.peace@gmail.com, put in the subject box topic. And that's it. Have a lovely week. Later.